Indeed, let's see what happens as the green comes out and Scott Sharp gets a decent restart. And look at Eddie Cheever. Cheever is going to take second from Greg Ray at the line.
Well, this looks like Ray didn't do what they said, and Cheever obviously was on the ball. Now then, he's got second position. It may be a shootout between, well, I think it's going to be a three-way shootout myself.
Who knows right now?
But those three have certainly moved out a few car lengths ahead of Sam Hornish, who's back and forth position.
Scott Sharp, Eddie Cheever, and Greg Ray. Cheever goes for the lead on the high side.
Outside.
Look at this, three abreast. No way,
this isn't going to work. Yes, it did. And Greg Ray takes the lead, and Cheever had to get out of the throttle once again.
That was exactly what Greg Ray needed. He knew he could not pass on the outside. They'd been discussing it. He said, if the door could open on the inside, I've got more power. Look what happened.
When was the last time you saw Indy-style race cars going through a corner three abreast at 215 miles an hour for the lead?
And make it.
And
all
make
three
it.
of them made it.
I didn't think it was possible, but by golly, they did. 9 laps to go with Greg Ray now in the lead, and Scott Sharp looking for a way around.
That was the boldest move I've seen here tonight. Three abreast, and he didn't run himself down into the infield. Like, oh, look at this. Now that's Sharp. Talking about running him into the infield. That's exactly what happened.
That's that wide car we were talking about earlier, guys.
Yep. 8 laps to go now.
Here comes Eddie Cheever again to get back in the hunt.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to pass the leader. He's got the racetrack. You're going to have to go somewhere where he's not. Brian Barnhart has told him before he's not going to stand for blocking, but boy, when you're leading a race, it's hard not to protect that position.
Just while we watch these top 3, let me tell you about some other guys we haven't seen a lot tonight, but are doing great. Giafoni's in 5th, Beechler 6th, Buddy Lazier 7th, Billy Boat in 8th, then Salazar and Alonso Jr. complete the top 10. Jacques Lazier has had a good race in 11th position. Shigei Hattori has had a good race, although he's been in and out of the pit several times. He's in 12th position. Robbie McGehee 6 laps down in 14th as they continue to run the same way on the racetrack. Greg Ray, Scott Sharp, and we're on board with Eddie Cheever. It's 3-1 Avalanche at the end of the second period. If you're coming over here and watching our race, we have an incredible race on our hands. It's a 3-way shootout for the lead with less than 6 laps to go.
They have just told Car 2 to call Brian Barnhart just what I said. They warned him about blocking. Evidently, they're going to warn him again about blocking.
5 laps to go. Brian Barnhart, the Vice President of Operations for the Indy Racing League, who oversees the on-track activity.
Oh, look at that! Oh, the lap
Greg
car.
Ray and Eddie Cheever are both involved. And I don't know who the third car was that Greg Ray went to the inside of down the backstretch.
Looked like the lap car moved way to the inside and tried to get out of the way. Greg Ray was just way too fast and already committed to go to the inside, and they made contact.
Robbie McGehee.
That's Robbie McGehee. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Greg Ray is moving around and taking off the steering wheel. So is Eddie Cheever.
Well, you got 2 disappointed race car drivers right there, guys.
What an onboard shot we had. Everybody here in the booth ducked. And I'm sure you did at home, because we were right with Eddie Cheever when he made hard contact with one of the cars. I don't know which one it was.
And you can see the disappointment in Greg Ray. He's just hanging his head down, talking to himself. There's Greg's wife. That's unfortunate.
Well, he has certainly gotten by with what I feel like is one of the bravest moves I've seen here at Texas Motor Speedway when he went 3 abreast. And then he got caught up with the lap car, and it was just a tough break. He was so committed, so much faster than McGehee. McGehee tried to move down, but it was too late, and he was already down there.
Down to Vince.
With a disappointed John Menard. John, first of all, Jeff Ward's car was running so strong, and it went out with a wheel bearing, and now this incident with Greg.
Yeah, it's too bad. We had a strong car, and, 4 laps to go makes you feel bad, but that's racing. We'll be back, and we'll get him at Pikes Peak, I guess.
So exciting tonight, wheel to wheel. Was Greg giving any indication of the thrill out there?
Well, I think Greg was pretty busy, just paying attention. He wasn't saying much on the radio, but I don't know if he was half excited as I was here in the pits. I mean, that was quite a race going on there. It's too bad it had to end this way.
What a disappointment for Greg Ray.
He's out of the car and obviously very disappointed. Here is a replay of what happened.
Take a look at Greg Ray. Look at this. He's way down on the inside. He tried to move back up the racetrack. He thought he was around Robbie McGehee, but he clipped his left front with his right rear. And, of course, Eddie Cheever was just a victim of circumstances.
Here it is once again. There's the contact. And right into the path of Eddie Cheever goes Robbie McGehee.
And oh boy, did Scott Sharp get lucky to get through there unscathed.
Yep.
Hey, it's better be lucky than good a lot of days.
I'd rather be lucky than good any day, Larry.
Oh, there's the in-car camera for Greg Ray. Oh, heavy contact with the wall. And this race could end under caution. There's a lot of debris out there on the backstretch, and there are now less than 3 laps to go.
Well, it's just a terrible, terrible break. Like I said, he had a big run on McGehee. He committed to the bottom. McGehee moved to the bottom, trying to stay out of his way. But as he went around, it just looked like Greg Ray moved up just a split second before he should have. And that's what caused the crash.
Jack, what did Scott Sharp, how did he react to all this?
Well, he did exactly what Jason Priestley predicted, fellas. He got on the radio and he said, I didn't see it. What happened? They tried to describe what occurred, and he said, boy, I dodged a bullet there, didn't I?
Cheever runs back to the pit area. And here is the onboard with Cheever. This is what we were on live. And Jason knew it was going to happen, and he still ducked that time.
Well, it's a terrible, terrible break for both Eddie Cheever and Greg Ray. This was going to be one heck of a shootout down to the end, but not now.
That's one of those things that's just sort of ingrained in you, Bob. If you ever drive race cars, you've seen. I've seen many things like that. I know Larry has as well on a track where you're just sort of along for the ride, and you know, you do duck. I mean, in GT cars I used to duck when things like used to happen.
Wow. Here is the onboard from Greg Ray. There's the contact that sent him spinning across the racetrack and then boom, hard into the outside wall.
And on that same angle, you saw Scott Sharp just barely get by without getting tagged.
Jack has more on Scott Sharp.
Well, just moments ago, the radio got very animated between their crew and Scott Sharp. The crew said to him, make sure you don't pass the pace car. All radioed back was, I don't think that's funny.
We've seen Eddie Cheever and Greg Ray out of their cars. Robbie McGehee, however, is still in his car, and that's down just off of corner number 4, so this race is going to end under caution. That's too bad because we had hoped for a battle to the end, but our concern right now is the condition of Robbie McGehee as Greg Ray walks back to the pit area. So Scott Sharp is going to win his 6th race and indeed become the all-time winningest driver in the Indy Racing League.
Well, I think Scott Sharp will be real happy with this result. Obviously winning the race, but I don't think this is quite the way that he wanted to do it.
Well, this was a tough night for a lot of these guys, but believe me, this was some of the toughest, tightest racing you're going to see anywhere in the country.
Field being led down the backstretch by the Oldsmobile pace car.
So Scott Sharp celebrates the anniversary of his victory here last year by another victory. And Bob Jenkins, I want to thank you for spending your anniversary, your 33rd wedding anniversary with all of us here at ABC. We all wish you a very happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife.
Thank you very much. Number 33, Scott Sharp will lead Sam Hornish, Felipe Giafoni, Buddy Lazier, and Donnie Beechler across the line to complete the Texas 500.
You are the man. Good job, dude. Good job, brother.
Well, he certainly did earn this victory.
For this, Sharp. I love you guys. Oh, great job, Scotty. Yeah.
After,
I bet you know where the checkered lane is, don't you?
After what had to be one of the most disappointing racing days of his entire career, almost 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis, as the pole sitter, he crashes in turn 1 of the first lap. He comes back with a vengeance and wins the Texas 500.